I don't know. Welcome. Oh, it's like a countdown again.
Hello.
Welcome to Moonlit Muses. My name is Molly, and I'm here
And my
with.
name is Eva.
Today, we are talking about emotional foreplay. What does this mean, Eva?
Oh, we're getting down and moody on Mondays. I would actually love to continue our conversation off the screen. I think it's
Yeah,
great. Yeah. We're just speaking with Molly about like her friends. You want to tell a little bit more about it, Molly?
sure. I was just thought the topic today is kind of inspired by the Cancerian moon energy and how we can emotionally transform, right? And feel safe emoting. And I've talked to a lot of guy friends about this actually, how they're basically a lot of the modern dating advice trains men to shut their emotions down. And this is just part of masculine conditioning as well, that emotions are dangerous, emotions are fleeting, they're not something you can rely on. And so it's something to actually control instead of embrace or experience. And from a feminine perspective, I can just kind of speak from being a female. That's how we connect. Women can connect through the emotional plane. And of course, there's examples of women using emotions in a negative, in a manipulative way, but men do that too. And so women will manipulate with emotions by overdoing it, right? Over expressing. And men usually will pull back and withdraw emotion as a way to gain control. And then you have this kind of stalemate where there's no true vulnerability. And so, yeah, we're going to talk today about maybe transforming your emotional state and being present with it and using it as a bridge rather than a weapon.
Yeah. And it's true though, but also when you think about it, like why have women used emotions to manipulate? Because especially like when you think about it, back in the days, that was their only way of getting what they want. Since
Mm-hmm.
we kind of lived in that more patriarchal society, so you wouldn't directly say what you need or what you want. You're kind of going to manipulate the environment.
I
Um,
think it's only if you, I think that some women, and I think that's only if they were trained or taught that emotions are not valid. So then, or, just expressing yourself isn't okay, because then they would have to, it's like almost like a more covert way to get your need met rather than just like saying, hey, this is how I feel. They do it in a kind of more roundabout, sneaky way.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times, like when you have behind every uncomfortable emotion, there is just like unmet need.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really important, especially like once we, grow up, like to understand like what are those needs and how can we like self-soothe and regulate. Or otherwise, like that kind of just translates across the board into our own life, into relationships, because we always have like these either men have built these walls, like you said, and kind of keep you away at a distance because they don't know how to deal with that, which is understandable. They never really learned,
Mm-hmm.
because that's usually the job of the mom, or women just continue like to navigate and manipulate their way around it, and it's just like a never-ending story and cycle that just
Mm.
creates like a very lonely and isolated society.
Yeah. And to the mom thing, exactly. It's basically, we could say that it all does root back to like your moon and how you were basically initiated into that idea of receiving. And if receiving came with all these conditions and terms, then yeah, you would think being emotionally vulnerable is scary because it's not just like something you're allowed to experience. It's like, well, no, it came with a price, I guess.
Yeah, and because emotions is something so difficult to really pinpoint or put into like some kind of a structure.
Hmm.
That's why I believe like for everyone, like this episode is like so going to be super beneficial to understand that, imagine you don't see underneath the surface like what each person needs. That's something so hidden in the subconscious, so private. And I always like to give this example. Imagine you have like a newborn baby and it's crying, but some babies cry because they're hungry. Others baby cry because, they need their diaper change because they're like uncomfortable. Other babies cry because they want a more quiet environment. Others baby cry because, for whatever reason out there, maybe they need a hug.
Mhm.
But like how, and the baby doesn't speak. You cannot tell you like, hey, listen, change my diaper. I mean, that would have made things so easy and simple. Hey, listen, feed me. But it can't communicate it directly. And it's the same thing with our needs. So like we need to put a lot of effort into understanding, yeah, our moon placement, what we actually need so we can grow into like these, mature people that can verbalize them, and kind of evolve from just being stuck in that emotional turmoil. And maybe it's a good way to start. Smalley was having like this super yummy snack right before we
Oh,
started.
yeah.
I was like, why don't you just show like your way of regulating your emotions?
It's so true. I was around a friend the other day and I had some stuff come up where I had to express myself, and I was on an emotional kind of wave. It was you know, that time of the month too. So that always affects it for women too. But it was dealing with like a real kind of conflict. And then I started like cooking for myself. And my friend was like, wow, they're like, I like watching you eat because you just seem to be in such a good mood when you're eating. And I was like, it's true. One of the ways I guess I emotionally regulate, I have an earth moon, is through nourishment. And I have moon Saturn. So when I was growing up, I wouldn't always nourish myself. And it's been kind of a struggle to make sure I'm like getting enough food in, because that can be a thing when your moon is aspected by Saturn, where it's so about being responsible and getting stuff done, especially in Earth Moon. It's like just work, get things done. It's not about like stop and just enjoy. Luckily my Mars is in Taurus, so I have that impetus to just like go for things that feel good too. But yeah, when I started to learn that like it does regulate my emotions. A lot of us, I would say, in the modern world too, we're deficient in micronutrients, and so much of our mood and our emotions, which are bred from that, come from like having enough nutrients. And so when I eat really like healthy food, I will sometimes feel like high, like actually feel high.
Yeah.
And it's not faking it. It's not like you don't have to take a drug, but like food truly is a drug, and we can remember that that's one way to change our emotional state. I like music too. Sometimes, if I am in a certain mood, I'll listen to like cathartic music, but usually if I just listen to music that transforms my mood into something more pleasant and balanced, that could just shift it in an instant too. How
It's
about you?
it's really interesting because like Saturn or Capricorn in its nature is very dry.
Mhm.
And what you are eating is almond butter, which is very like oily and grounding. And it
Yeah.
was like that balance helps to, find an equilibrium within.
Yeah. What helps you tap into like shifting your emotions if you're experiencing a difficult emotional state?
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, my moon is in Libra, so I grew up with both of my parents. They have their moon in Aries. And it felt like my childhood was on like a battlefield,
Oh,
and for them, that kind of, and honestly, like now I understand that for them, it felt good, like this intensity
I
or like
liked it.
outlash or the impulsiveness. For me, it felt too chaotic,
Mm.
too much chaos, too much fighting. Again, they would get over it very quickly, but for me, I would hold it on for way too long and would feel like emotionally disturbing. It's almost like I need so much time to find my equilibrium again. And then over time, yeah, like working with beauty, that's why I even produce like my own like oils there for like each different like moon sign. So this is what I do. I literally like look first, because it's in Libra. I look for a space that's harmonious, that's beautiful. It can all be messy, it can all be chaotic. The simplest, the better, especially if it's like aesthetically pleasing, like an environment. This helps to like calm down my mind. Then using the essential oils. Also, yeah, how I look, meaning that it's not so much from a perspective of being obsessed about your appearance, but like you know, when you have your hair in order, when there is like a synchronicity, there is like balance in your appearance, in your environment, when things are beautiful, it just feeds me internally.
Hmm.
And it's almost like you become then on the other end of the spectrum, sometimes like you want this so much that it becomes very disturbing being in the messy, dirty, faulty smelling, chaotic environment. It's like it doesn't feel good. And sometimes I've noticed, maybe because I'm a Virgo too, but like when I feel like distressed, like my first thing is like I need to put things in order,
Hmm.
or I need to clean up my house, or like take stuff out. And the moment the space is clean and beautiful, and like there is like this peaceful music in the background, like for example, I love handpan, and thank God
Me
my
too.
boyfriend plays the handpan. So like sometimes even if he like plays at home and I'm doing something, I'm like, this feels so soothing.
Zen, super zen.
Yeah. So
I love
like
that you mentioned that because the moon is our home and our immediate kind of surroundings, like the kind of womb that we create around ourselves, like the energy we're always absorbing.
yeah, even the conversations, I think I got so used to like hearing the raised voices and the screaming
Oh,
that it
wow.
took me a while to understand how much this is disruptive to me. And I really don't like somebody who is uses very vulgar language and is shouting and being too overly loud. It's like I kind of pull myself away. It's like that just cannot tolerate this for a long period of time. It's just too disturbing. It's like I invite you in my peace, but if you just want to bring your chaos, like stay away.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I agree with the clean environment, and I'm a person where I have to like really work towards maintaining that because
Well,
I'm
Capricorn is
creative,
also
so
about
things will get
structure.
what.
Capricorn is also about structure.
Yeah, things will get, but I have all this creative energy. So when I'm in a creative process, I don't have my own like separate studio space for art, but eventually I would have that because when you're in the creative process, things do get like
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
can be everywhere. And then it's like an intention of like, okay, I need to clean this up. Cause yeah, I agree. It just doesn't feel good to have things all over the place.
No, maybe I don't know. Maybe if you're, let's say, a Pisces moon, because I know a few people, for them it doesn't bother them so much.
It's my Pisces rising that can like, things can get like, whoa,
Yeah, I
like
have a friend
whirlwind.
who has like an entertainment company, and she hires different dancers and entertainers for events. So she's the one that's organizing it. So yes, in her place she has a lot of costumes and things,
Mhm.
and even sometimes she says like, yes, it's overwhelming for me, but I don't think it bothers her to that extent. Just because to her it's also in a way fun. Kind of having all of these hats and jewelry and costumes around almost can feel like inspiring, can give her like ideas when everything is out on display, like how to, like, what can I create next, or how things are going to look good together. And
Yeah,
yes,
makes
for me
sense.
for me that would be fun, but like I would need it in a separate
Yeah,
space.
you can't live in it,
I can't
yeah.
live like that, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, because with art, especially, like, if I'm working on a painting, it's a lot more work to, like, "Okay, now I'm gonna, like, put everything away, and now, okay, I wanna paint against it. Now I gotta get all the paint out again," you know? Get the have,
I,
like, a designated space for it so it can just kind of always your process is just constantly going. Um, yeah.
yeah,
But,
I
yeah,
I
it's my inner child, though, to do the creative stuff, so.
Yeah, definitely. Like I would when I have also worked on many creative projects. I mean, with the oils is not that much mess, but
Mhm.
I was doing like these art projects with like moss and like wood. So that's first of all a lot of supply. Second of all, it makes a huge mess everywhere. But I had like a own separate garage for that. So pretty much I will leave the mess, but only in that space. I retreat back to my own place
You're
that feels
zen,
so
yeah.
organized, and that, yeah. So that didn't bother me, but just constantly being in that environment, like I can't.
What is your husband's moon in?
He's in Leo. Yeah.
Nice.
So, like, for example, I know for him, I mean, Leo most technically usually end up being very, like, dramatic and like exaggerate things. Especially if they don't feel like seen or appreciated, like that's where the drama comes. Because technically, if you look at it for kids with Leo moon, Like they want to feel seen by the mom. They want to feel like special and one and only. So if you don't have a mom that tells you like you're the best, even if you did something bad, it's like great job, like very supportive and like never critical, because Leos don't like to be criticized at all. Just can't handle any of that. So you have to be
They
very,
take it really to heart. They take it
yeah,
really to heart.
yeah, very, very much to heart. So then it becomes like almost like this need later on in their home environment, whoever they live with, to feel seen and appreciated. And honestly, once they do, they're very loving and very generous people. But I've definitely noticed, like, if I tend to criticize, like, it doesn't happen often. Or even if I express something that I would like differently, they feel offended right away and they jump to like defend themselves. And
And
it's like, relax,
mhm.
you're great.
What I find is super effective, and I feel this in myself, and this is a common technique that is taught, and they call it like the shit sandwich, where okay, if you're gonna have a critique, you always start it with a soft landing, like so you'll enforce something you do appreciate. That way, when you like slide the critique in there, you know, it's better than if you just come in with a critique, then the person doesn't feel honored. Like, especially say you do something nice for your friend, and then they're like, oh shit, well, it was nice that she did that for me, but this is how I would normally have like kept things. Like say you're taking care of their pet. Like, oh hey, thank you so much for taking care of my pet. By the way, hey, I noticed that there was this on this thing, and next time do you mind like doing it this way, or just giving more constructive feedback? But then also you close it with like a compliment. So it's like a compliment, the critique, and then a compliment. You have to
This is
kind of
such
sandwich
a
it.
typical American corporate structure way of communication. Actually, I had to learn this when I was working in corporate years ago. It's like you start with
They take it better. They take it better. I take it better.
not hurt somebody's feelings. Like this is for everybody who's sensitive. So you start with like reinforcement, the critique, and then kind of end it with reinforcement again.
Yeah, so that's like the last thing that lingers. So it's kind of like, oh, okay, you're dressing it up and it's not, people, oh, that's being manipulative. Not really. I mean, sometimes it's, you got to give them medicine with sugar, right? If you just tell people the critique, then they take that, and then that does trigger defenses because they're like, wait, they don't appreciate me, or I did something wrong. So critiques basically trigger shame, which is one of the lowest frequency emotions.
Yeah.
So it does make sense. It's like, well, yeah, we have to still give our feedback, but
Teach this to Eastern Europeans. Do you know how they communicate? They see you and they're like, "Hi, you look horrible today." Like there is no space for like sugar things. You're just straightforward going at it.
oh my God. Well, yeah, my family is mostly Eastern European and German. So
Well, I think German they would withhold a lot. I don't know if they're,
no, Germans are pretty rough. They're
but
pretty rough.
they're
They're
rough.
not
Yeah.
they're not the like gonna sugarcoat it. They're not.
But I think it's different kind of humor. It's more like, or different kind of approach. It's more dry. It's almost like, what were you doing to yourself to have this image, instead of like, you look horrible today. Like they'll kind of put it in a more sarcastic way.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There'll be like a little more humor with it.
Like this, like very dry kind of humor.
How do you
Like
handle
I remember one time I was overseas and I was like in this group of people, and we went outside by some beach sites to hang out, and the view was beautiful, and I decided I wanted to like try some yoga poses, like inversions, but I was still not good at them at that time. So I kept on trying, but I was falling down, and I kept on trying and I was falling down until I get like a nice shot. And then this German guy goes to me, he's like, you need to work a little bit more on your balance. So it was not like directly like you suck. Like the Eastern European version would be like, oh, you suck at that. But it would still reinforce the fact, and he would say it in front of the whole group. So make it public. Point out what you still need to work on. So it would be a critique, but it would not be directly offensive.
there's some tact?
Yeah, there's some tact, but like very humiliating kind of tact, very degrading a little bit. Yeah.
How do you How do you feel if you feel critiqued or offended, or if someone, yeah, takes like a jab at you? Yeah, what's your like instinct, your response?
Well, yeah, with Libra Moon, at first it doesn't feel good. Definitely. Plus, in general, Virgos are so self-critical that
Mm,
you kind of know your own shit already. You don't need more of that. But
totally.
over the years, I've also learned to navigate through that, meaning that a lot of times, people choose how they'll speak and how they'll treat you, but you can also choose if you want to entertain it or if you want to end it. I
Absolutely.
think the moment I kind of understood that, like, I also don't have to deal with that, especially if it kind of crosses the line of being like too much or too disrespectful or too aggressive. It's like I cannot expect you to be, gentle all the time. And yes, sometimes it's better for things to be said straightforward. But if it's not in a tactful way, if it's like in a very degrading, unpleasant way, especially if it's something that continues as a way of communication, I'll just kind of end things or pull myself away or
Cut
just,
them out.
yeah, not bother to deal with that.
Mhm.
Again, for me to get into conflict and scream, it's not natural. You have to like really get me out of, I don't know. And if I even need to get to that moment, I know like I'm just reacting in something. It's been so wrong that I've let it to get to that point.
Totally. Like it
So
would have had to been stewing for a while.
for like, yeah. And now I recognize it very, very soon. It's like, fine, that's how you want to talk, but I'm just not going to be part of it. Like find another audience or listener or
Do you want to go through kind of like the moon signs and their emotional release valve?
I mean, I think we mentioned quite
Some
like some of them. Yeah. Who else is left? What about,
we could talk about the water moons because they're probably the most sensitive.
yeah, and like the most difficult in regulating their emotions.
Hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't say actually the most difficult because natural, like, let's say cancer,
Hmm.
it's like natural. Yeah. Um, oh, it's very interesting. Both of my kids have cancer moons and,
Oh,
I'm on air sign, so I could never really understand like all of their emotional overwhelm.
uh-huh.
Like I still rationalize things.
Right. The earth and air moons will intellectualize their feelings. I've noticed that
Yeah.
because inherently air and earth are just like the more left-brained way of processing.
Hmm.
Whereas the water and the fire moons are like a little more comfortable feeling their emotion and expressing it. But the earth and air moons need to kind of like learn that process more. It doesn't come as natural, I would say.
Yeah, so at the same time, because I have my Mercury conjunct with my moon, am very intuitive, but I can notice how I have an emotion and then I also have a question, like what's behind it. So I
Hmm.
don't get over consumed by it.
Hmm.
Like, yes,
What is this showing?
my emotions impact my mind and the opposite, but at the same time, I can get to a place where I can make peace with it.
Hmm.
Because I can connect the feeling to the mind, like I've seen with my kids to cancer moons. It's always like, why are you feeling like that? I don't know, it's horrible. It's like, where is this coming from? Like, so I can understand like what you actually want or you need, because like just continuously crying is not really going to, help here. Like I
Mm.
can soothe you for a moment, but then we need to like understand like what's going on, like where do you feel unsatisfied or not happy. And definitely I noticed like with it's cancer moons, home and family security and safety is really important.
Mhm.
Just having like a supportive family environment around you and to feel like, although I do have the tendency to like rationalize things, but sometimes they just want a hug
Exactly. I was
and
just gonna
not to ask anything. It was
say,
hard for me to learn.
yeah, because it's like asking them is kind of like, yeah, that's how you
No,
process the emotion, but for them that might not even be, yeah, what they need in the moment
yeah.
because
So I'll be like, it's okay. You can cry. You can be mad. I don't get it, but it's okay. Like, I don't have to get it.
Yeah, it could be helpful for them to have like a creative outlet too,
Yeah.
to express themselves, channel it, to channel their emotions. Because, with cancer types, they're super lunar influence. So depending on even where the moon is in the sky, it will impact. And I started to actually start tracking, and this could be helpful to viewers, like when the moon's in certain signs, I really get impacted. Like I'll notice the moon signs that make me more creative. Also notice when the moon is in, like when the moon kind of goes towards Aquarius, Pisces, I think it's because it's more the empty part of my chart. I don't know what the correspondence is. I haven't figured it out, but I always notice like a lowering and a more melancholic feeling when the moon is in those signs. It's like clockwork. And I don't know if you've ever tracked that, but I find it really
Oh
interesting.
yeah, all the time. Like, I align everything I do with the moon sign because it impacts all of us,
Mhm.
especially women. And in our case, we can work with it more consciously.
Absolutely. And it's always like the days where I'm feeling really low, I'm like, okay, let me get like, where's the moon? Let's like, it's not like I'm anticipating it. Sometimes I'm not even really paying attention. And then I'll just like, I can just like feel, I'm like, oh, is the moon like in Pisces right now? I feel way more sensitive. I feel way more sensitive.
Especially again, water sign. And I wanted to add in about like the Cancer one. It's really important, the emotional state of the mother if you have Cancer moon, because otherwise a child can really get very entangled into unpleasant and resentful emotions. So like, I've noticed with myself, the moment they feel something, I don't get it, I don't understand it, but can I breathe? Can I feel centered? Can I feel calm? Even if they're like crying and screaming. And the moment I come down, they naturally like follow me. But if I allow my emotions to get out
Mhm.
of place and out of hand, it becomes a shit show.
I would say like in general, I feel like the mom is who models emotional regulation, and that's why the moon in our chart is so tied into like how we've learned to emotionally regulate, and we can truly evolve past our moon sign. I mean, I
Yeah.
think the whole point of like knowing it is so yeah, we are like aware of like, okay, this was what was modeled. This is even I think of it as it's like our emotional DNA that gets passed down through all of our generations. Like who knows how many generational kind of themes, ancestral themes. It's like echoing.
Yeah, it's definitely impacted by like, how would your mom regulate her emotions, or like what's like
Oh, she would shut down. She would shut down and detach.
that's very
Aquarius
Saturn.
moon.
Yeah. Okay.
She's an Aquarius moon, and she would like, yeah, it was like a wall. And when I would feel emotional, I honestly, my dad was more the one that would like be soothing.
And attentive.
Yeah, Taurus moon. And um so yeah, I think just being taught that like there's like like the shutdown of like, and then there's like a shame around expressing your emotion, like it's like a burden or something. So then, yeah, being an earth moon, it's very much, I think this is a common thing with earth moons. It's like contain and control your emotions and compartmentalize it. Like really, like just put it in a bit thing and do what you have to do.
True. I mean, yes, imagine a child doing that.
Exactly.
It's
Mhm.
not. What about your dad with a Taurus moon?
Um, I think he was just like a little more in tune with like being able to like talk things out or just be a little more comforting, just being more present, I would say, a little more present with it. Still very grounded, still very like, kind of like get over it. There wasn't a lot of like, I didn't have any watery lunar influence in my house. So yeah, it wasn't like, oh, it's okay that you feel that way and just feel your feel. So yeah,
So,
that I get more from like female friends in my life than anything else.
did your dad, because Taurus moon also likes comfort a lot, and
Mhm.
to like enjoy themselves? Did your dad cook for him? Did he enjoy just like, enjoying, let's say, lying on the couch, eating something,
Yes.
like
Yeah,
enjoy
definitely.
himself?
Totally, definitely. Yeah. Yep. Yep, the food.
I mean, that's a good placement for the moon. It's easy. It's just like the person looks for like a comfort in his
Yeah.
immediate environment through food, through a blanket, through like things that are just,
Mhm.
comfortable to on a physical level.
What do you think of like the air? I mean, obviously you have an air moon, but like the Aquarius, the Gemini moons.
Aquarius is interesting. I feel like, yes, Aquarius moon is not emotionally open and expressive,
Mhm.
but they are more with friends, or when it comes down to like ideas,
Mhm. Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
or like big visions, or
Like their principles.
yeah, or there's like some new technological innovation that they get super excited about. It's more not internally deep, it's more outwardly impacted. Like I always say this, yeah, Aquarius moon, or if you have like Aquarius in your fourth house, a lot of these people, like they kind of find emotional stability through like friends or group of people, not in like the typical home environment, like with your family. They
Mm.
almost feel like friends are your family. Or actually, you can probably, yeah, if you've seen like this TV show, Friends, like
Mhm.
that kind of environment or scenario.
Yeah.
That's very Aquarius.
Yeah.
How just trying
Gemini.
to recall with your mom if she was she a social person? Did she have a lot of friends?
Pretty kind of social, but not like overly. But she worked in school, still works in
Or or what I see them do a lot to like emotionally regulate is, yeah, use technology.
Mm.
Read the news. A lot of Aquarius moons like love to,
Oh
get
my God. I
informed.
don't understand how that like would be comforting to anybody.
That's how they are.
I don't understand how reading the news would bring anyone comfort, but yeah, no, I it's true. My family
Like
loves.
information.
Mhm.
But information, like what the difference would be, I would like for me, it would be important to have a partner, like one person, one-to-one conversation. A Gemini can like talk to anyone. They can
Mhm.
pretty much, they will feel stable. I'll go to my neighbor. I go like, down the block, go to the grocery store, find somebody to talk to, like chit chats, like almost like gossip chit chats, like small talk.
Mhm.
Like these things like make them happy. Like they cannot be by themselves, but they like the variety of like talking to anyone. Aquarius, either with friends or like I've noticed, definitely like on the internet, just absorbing information. Yeah, just absorbing information. It would be like their way of. But yeah, if you put a Gemini with like no communication, with nobody in the room, they're just going to lose it. They can become
Like a
so.
Vipassana would they'd lose their mind. One of those week-long silent meditations.
Yeah,
I wonder how they'd be. I'm sure some
because
of them have done that.
because let's see, the difference with Virgo moon is a lot more, it's still about, ruled by Mercury, but it's more observant. So Virgo moon will be okay at staying at home, reading, kind of be in her own independent space, where Gemini, it's almost like this curious little child that just has like this like almost anxiety and nervous tension if he doesn't have a way to quickly communicate with someone,
Yeah, like
like
bounce
small
ideas.
talks, small talks. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It doesn't have to be about like world problems or the news,
Mhm.
but just like day to day things. Yeah.
What about the fire moons?
So we did Leo,
Mhm.
Aries. What
Aries
do you
and
think about Aries?
I mean, they need a lot of, I would say, stimulation. They need a lot of movements, I think they could probably spin out in their heads if they're not. I do have a friend who's in Aries moon that, man, like that's like the best way he processes his emotions. Like he's going through a really hard life transition, and he's been going to like, he's started going rock climbing again, and just like the more he kind of takes action on what he can control, despite this like big transition, he's like getting a lot of it's like feeding his spirit a lot, and it's like very much nurturing him. So I always recommend that to clients that have that moon, is like when they stagnate is when they can kind of spiral out emotionally.
Yeah, I mean, they need independence and autonomy. Like you
Mhm.
also not really keep them in a closed space and tell them what to do.
Mhm.
But at the same time, they need to have the freedom to, choose what direction they want to go into and when and how, and not being overburdened by others' rules, expectations, demands.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
very
have
like
freedom.
independent in that sense. Yeah, you need like your own independence.
What do you think that mom was like for Aries moons?
Very dominating.
Yeah.
Very dominating, and that's why they need that autonomy deep inside. Let's say, I'll give you like personal example. Like I told you, both of my parents have Aries moon.
Oh
My
yeah.
my dad's mom, she passed away when I was very little, so I don't really know like the dynamic between him and her, but I've definitely noticed the dynamic between my grandma and my mom. And although my grandma, I did not see her that way, the way I saw her interact with my mother, she kind of had her think of like, today we're gonna have these people over, we're gonna do that, like this what needs to be done for the family in this way and so on. And I feel like my mom, that's every child, you unconsciously want to make your parent happy, but trying so much to, even though she didn't like it, and she'll like battle with her mom, that she wants to do it her way, or now she doesn't want to have these people over, or maybe like she wants the menu to be different, or like some small things like that. It always felt like my grandma was like more trying to like dominate her, like she didn't have that free will to, not that she didn't have it, but you'll have to fight for it.
Mhm.
Like she will not be heard, she'll have to like raise her voice, she'll have to like fight for herself in order for her to feel heard or get her way. So there was definitely like this tension in combat. I mean, Aries moon, it's still ruled by Mars, so there's conflicts with the mother, definitely.
Same, I would say, if like the person, even if they don't have an Aries moon, but their moon is with Mars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. They talk about in synastry, and I'd love your take on this. Like one of like everyone's always like, oh, this is one of the best aspects in astrology synastry for romance and love. And it's the man Mars on the woman's moon. And I'm like, I've had that and I did not like it. I don't want anyone's Mars on my moon. It feels really critical, and they can really hurt you without
I
really.
think it works better the opposite way.
Where's the woman's Mars with the man's moon?
Yeah, not so much on Mars, more on the ascendant, I would say.
Oh. The
On
woman's Mars on the man's ascendant.
Actually, in both cases, but especially with, yeah,
Sexual compatibility kind of thing.
yeah. This is definitely a lot more I like for living together,
Hmm.
because there is this almost, I mean, I would say yes in both cases, both for women and men. I like this a lot more than Venus and Mars.
Oh, the Mars with the ascendant you like more.
Yeah, the moon on the ascendant.
Moon on. Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's
Okay.
a very deep subconscious connection to the person.
Yeah, I felt that.
And it almost like you don't understand it, but it feels like home, just like who they are, how they approach life. I mean, the ascendant is ruled by Mars, but I like this a lot more when you have somebody's moon on the ascendant. I'm not a big fan of Venus Mars. So although like this is normally preached as
Interesting. Yeah.
something that's like, very
Mhm.
compatible. Yeah, but a lot of times it's compatible. I also recognize it's short term, and it can be very exciting, but like passionate
Not to live
exciting,
with. Not
not
to
like
live with.
emotionally fulfilling exciting.
I think, what about the trine? I mean, are you talking about the conjunction, the trine? What aspect?
Conjunction, trine, all of it. I mean, like we need to look at everything, but
Mhm.
in general, I think it's more great for like sex and excitement when we speak about like something that's more long term, home, emotionally safe, something that we're all looking, something that's a lot more deep than just like physical sexual pleasure. I definitely like Moon on the Ascendant more,
Mhm.
not just as like, fun relationship or for sex, or again just the physical pleasure, when it's more of this like deeper spiritual emotional connection with a person.
I
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
What else we have? Fire, Sagittarius.
I mean, all the firemen's need their freedom. But Sag, I would say they probably emotionally connect most when they feel they can really like share their ideas, share their inspiration, feel like they're spiritually attuned to the person that they're with or that they're connecting to. Um,
They need to feel like they're expanding,
mhm.
either
All of
through,
the oh, go
yeah.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Or all of the like transpersonal moons, anything Libra and beyond. Yeah, they're not as like maybe they don't need as much intimate. I mean, I guess everyone needs intimacy, but it's more of like a yeah, like a non-personal way of connecting, if that makes sense. Or
I
finding
would,
comfort.
I would say for Sagittarius, since we're speaking about like expansion, um, yes, even if you're with someone, you want to explore. That's what I meant by expansion. Like have the opportunity to explore more than the mundane and routine parts of life.
Yeah.
It's not just about your personal freedom, but you want something much more meaningful. Let's say if there is a something you want to create into life, or some, let's say, on a spiritual quest, travel or teach like yoga and share some wisdom, something that's a lot more, again, not just my personal freedom, but that there is meaning to it too.
Meaningful. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, let's say the difference would be like Aries moon sometimes, because it's this like impulsive, I want to have the freedom. Let's say you're somewhere, but you don't want to feel tied down to that family dinner. If you want to, let's say, get up and go somewhere else and eat, because it's very like impulse driven, then you want to have the freedom is, I'm just gonna go, I'm gonna eat there, and I'm gonna come back, join you on the table. Like I
Mhm.
don't, where with Sagittarius is more like I want to try some different cuisine and experience a different culture. And it's not just about the food, it's more about like the whole experience.
Yeah. I haven't, I feel like I probably have some Sag Moon friends. I can't think of off the top of my head.
Oh, me too.
But
I have, and that's always so funny. The moment they get into a relationship, then they go away for like 2 months and travel somewhere. I'm like, why'd you even get into a relationship? Or unless like both of you have a lot of Sag that
mhm.
you make it work. Um, yeah, that's not something that works for a
It
lot of.
needs like the air to breathe to fan the flames. I would also say, yeah, if they're forced to be like, especially a Sag moon, if it's like if they feel forced to be kind of small, whether that's in their work, in their relationships, and their like if they don't really feel seen and like appreciated in their passion and their expression, I mean, for all the fire moons, that's when they can maybe start to dysregulate.
You also think about it, like Sag makes a square to Virgo. Virgo is all about like routine, organization. Sag
Mhm.
is all about like anti-routine, adventure. I don't need that organization. I just like the novelty, the spontaneity of it. So imagine a
Truly,
Sag and a Virgo moon together.
a Sag and a Virgo.
I
I have
can see.
tons of Virgo friends. I'm a Sag sun, and I love Virgos, but maybe it's because I have a Capricorn moon.
Yeah, it's because of
I
that.
love Virgo energy.
I'll give you like a perfect example. One of my kid has on the icy Sag, and the other one has Virgo. The
Mm.
moment I say we're gonna travel somewhere, the one that has Sag on the icy, they're like, "Yes!" We're like, "Where are we going? I'm ready!" Like he packs his own bags, like, "Let's do
Yeah.
it." And the other one is like, "Oh no, how long is the drive? Can I stay home?" Like
That's so
the
funny.
only reason why he goes is because his brother is going. But if you ask him, he doesn't like the spontaneous trips and changes and long drives. Like he likes his routine and
He wants to have control over the environment.
yes, he likes his
I think that's
simplicity.
so true. Virgos need their like they want to control the environment.
You need like that structure and organization, like to feel sane, like these spontaneous travels or like long travels, and let's see where that's gonna take me. It's like, oh no, like that's just I want to be in the moment, like. And Sag is like, what's happening next?
That is true. I'm not even a Sag moon, but like I definitely feel really alive. Like it makes me feel so alive to like not know. And some people, yeah, they would have like a panic attack, or they'd be like a lot of people don't even understand how I live. They're like, how do you not know like what's your people always ask me, what's your plan? And I'm like, I'm a Sag with a Pisces rising. I don't do a plan. I mean, I'll plan some things, like projects I'll plan, but in terms of like a 5-10 year plan, I mean,
That's why it's so important for the moons to be compatible because,
yeah.
like, imagine like you feel alive. Like, let's say tomorrow, you know what? I'm gonna pack my bags. I'm gonna move to Alaska. And then you have somebody with Virgo moon. It's like, hold on, like, where are we gonna stay? How much is it gonna cost? Like, where am I gonna work? Do I have an? It's just like all of these practical things, and you're like, you're just killing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great point that the Sag moon would thrive on the spontaneity.
And the unknown and how like that like
Yeah.
recharges you and makes you
Leo moon might not really be as spontaneous just because it's fixed, even though it's
fix. No,
fire.
no,
It's still,
no.
it's like it wants to have that creative control. And so it needs to create, but it'll be like they have their freaking studio, they have their space, they do it. They're like king of the rooster of the roost.
Yeah, they don't like the changes as much as true because they're fixed at the same time. If they're loved and adored, they're gonna go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now we're getting into how to manipulate all the inside in this game. Little cheat sheet in the last we could do that in the last 10 minutes. Okay. If you
Yeah,
want to get what you want from the moon sign and have it them think it was their idea, let's go.
exactly. Give Capricorn some
Control power.
give
Make
Capricorn
them think they're in charge.
to be yes, to be in charge and money too.
That's hilarious. That's so funny. That
Yeah,
is really
so
funny.
Libra gives some like compliments and peace and like a beautiful environment, and you can like wooz her into La La Land. So Leo give like applause,
Oh yeah.
fireworks,
But
attention.
I would say genuine because they can probably tell. I mean, it's
Yeah,
funny. They probably
they
don't
can you can
realize you're
tell.
laying it
I mean,
on,
I can
but
tell too when somebody's being like overly
yeah,
sweet. It's like
like a genuine appreciation for Leo
eh,
moon.
eh, and like my thing is always like, what do you want? Like I can sense like the insincerity right away. So
And by the way, this is like you could say it's like, oh, these are manipulative, but they're not really. It's like how these moons feel understood and how they feel safe to open.
it's more important is like when you know the person, like they have the right
Mhm.
intention, but eventually like this is the approach that they want to
Yes,
be.
we're repairing marriages right now.
Exactly. Hey, listen, if you
Um,
guys need like
what else? Who else do we have?
marriage
Virgo.
forecast
What does Virgo moon need?
routine.
Consistency, let's say, yeah.
Consistency,
To
yes.
feel
Like
safe
they
to
need
open
to have to know that you're going to be there at 5 p.m. until 6 p.m. What you're gonna do,
up.
what's going to be next Saturday, what's going to be next year, at that date, at that time. Like there needs to be a very structured and organized plan. They need to know what to look forward to. No surprises. Like don't surprise a Virgo. They like to be in control of the environment.
Mhm.
So they needs to be very simple, organized, not overwhelming.
No, but it's true. I have a story related to that. One of my best friends is Virgo and I'm a Sag. She also has the same moon as me, though. We're both Capricorn moon. But we were planning a trip it was before I lived in New Mexico. We were just visiting and we were like, yeah, we're going to plan this trip together. And it actually worked really great because as the Sag, I'm like, I'm down for whatever. Like, let's go. And she's like, okay, we went for like a week. She emails me this itinerary of like all the things she wants to check out and like kind of like it was loose. It wasn't like a super tight itinerary, but I was like, holy shit, she like did her research. She knew what like restaurants she wanted to try, where we would spend certain days. And honestly, as a Sag, I felt relieved. I was like, oh my God. I was like, that's awesome that she planned that. Cause I was like, I would just show up and just ask
It's
people.
true. It's true. Because a lot of people complain that Virgos are like that. Because they're
I
like,
like it. It's like a
but
relief
at
to
the
me. 'Cause I'm
same
like,
time, it is so helpful. Like people don't realize it, but at the same time, it's so helpful because it saves you so much time and headache.
well, because when we were on the trip, I was like, "Oh my God, this is so fun!" Like she found the Airbnb, like it just flowed so well. And I guess it did help that I didn't really have my own agenda because then she could control the whole trip basically. But
Yeah.
I enjoyed giving her that control because I thought, wow, she really like did the research,
And
found
you feel taken
the
care
flow.
of.
Yeah, so I was like, "Oh, I can relax and just enjoy the ride my Sag way, like just be here." It was kind of fun.
Mm.
I didn't have to like go in my head about it and plan. And then we ended up like seeing a lot, experiencing a lot. And then I thought, wow, she hadn't done all that. Like at first I was a little overwhelmed when she sent me it. I was like, holy shit. And the little resistance came up. But I was just, I'm just gonna go with this, see what happens. And then it was a really fun time.
Believe me, like I don't have Virgo moon, but my son is in Virgo. And one time I was going on a trip, and a friend of mine gave me like his car because I
Mhm.
needed a car to drive. And he has a lot of Virgo in his chart, like a lot, maybe like 6 planets or something. I never experienced that before, but that's when I realized like the gift of this, because you
Wow.
think like that's a lot, like
That
that's
is a lot.
too much Virgo. I go into the car. He's like, open this pocket. There is, change for you. Because I was gonna go to like toll areas. He prepared the change. He goes like it's gonna take you like, 200 miles to get to this point. Then you can stop on the right side. There is like a place where you can go like pee and like get something to eat. And then like 100 more miles down, you're gonna take this exit. I didn't have to like think for like a second. I'm like, this is amazing. This feels
It's
incredible. And honestly, I can tell you guys, like that's the best gift you can give to a woman, not to
a
think about
woman.
something.
That's the true masculine leader. That's it.
Seriously, it was just spectacular, like so perfect to the T. I was
You
like,
could enjoy yourself. You don't have to like stress.
yeah, that's the biggest gift a guy can give to a woman, not to think about something. Like
Oh my gosh, even you just saying that, I'm just like, oh.
you don't question
We
it.
should have talked about this in our What Women Want episode. Just like, but it's such a fine line though, because I was just talking with a man about this, like how he's like, well, leadership is a masculine thing. And I was like, I don't agree with that. Leadership is just impact and women can have impact too. However, yeah, the masculine version of leadership, it is that like structure, containment, safety. But a lot of men confuse that with like control or dominance. But it's not, it's
No.
really subtle. It feels very different. It's more like a preparedness.
I mean, my partner has a lot of planets right now in the sixth house, and I can tell you, like, uh, I love it. Like, there is like sometimes things that I don't even want to, think about or that need to be handled. And then he comes and he's like, that's the plan. That's what we're going to do. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm
I
like,
love
oh
that.
my God.
I've been on a date with a
Feels like an
Virgo.
orgasm.
I've been on a date with a Virgo that was like, it was so beautiful example of what we're talking about, where he had a few different options. So it wasn't like he was just, it was a dictatorship and this is what we're doing. Though that can work, that can be fine how it's done. But he was like, okay, so we could do this plan, we could do, or we could do this plan. He gave me like 2 or 3 options. And then he also just like, I was like, one of the options I wanted to do. And I was like, oh, but I don't have this and this. And he's like, oh, I already have that for you. But they'll have like all the outfits you could need for whatever activity. They'll have thought through like, they really, it's like they've thought 10 steps ahead of like everything. So you're never like in that like frantic like moment of like, oh no, what's gonna, like they just already have like pre-prepared.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely very Virgo thing. I am not to that extent, but I do remember we're going somewhere and I took like like a first aid kit with different ointments and creams and stuff like that. And everybody's like, what is this useless stuff? But then once people start getting sick or having like some
Oh,
stomach,
they were like, now they like it.
hello, the nurse is here. I got you covered. Don't worry about it. And they're like, how do we have everything? It's like, yes, you like overly prepare sometimes, but at the end, you never know. Oh, and one important thing for in general Virgos, but also Virgo moon, timeliness. Like they don't
Capricorn
like
moon, we care about that shit too. I get pissed.
Capricorn. So yes, like
I'm pissed.
Capricorn, like yes, you like the organization, so you definitely like that. You like the structure and
I feel
organization.
disrespected when people flake, are late. Like I take it actually quite personally.
Yeah.
I really do.
Same thing with Virgo. You starting being late, like 5 minutes.
If it's a one-off thing, that's fine.
You,
But
you
if
know,
it's like
5 minutes, you're already testing the trust. But if it's like half an hour, and if it's like a little bit more than that, it's like, you know what, better not come at all.
yeah, no, that like Earth moons will take that shit personally.
Yeah.
Because
So
I think
they are.
it's more like they're like, time is my money, time is my resource. So I think if an Earth moon is giving you time, that's like their emotion.
Yeah, because like think about, Earth is connected to our 3D reality, which is time involved, like sensitive. So you have a very conscious awareness of time itself. You're not like somewhere in the air, somewhere in the emotion, somewhere in the impulse. You're like, what's happening here?
And being punctual and like being helpful, like just straight up useful. That's our love language.
For sure. Definitely.
Like, are you enhancing my life? Are you practically, and so I have noticed I'm an Earth moon, and I do very much like I call myself a sapiosexual. I need the intellectual connection. It's not obviously I want to emotionally feel connected too, but it's like if that intellectual connection isn't there, I just think it's like kind of a waste of time. I know it sounds bad. It's like, well, am I learning something? Am I growing?
Yeah, I mean, it's Capricorn. How is that benefiting my life?
What else did we miss? Any of the others in this kind of last
Scorpio is the last one.
Oh, Scorpio.
Okay, we miss a Scorpio. We're gonna get like stinked by the end of this episode if we miss a Scorpio.
Save the best for last.
Exactly. Hey, Molly, you got it. You got us out of that stink.
Scorpios, they're slow to trust. That can be true of just I think people with like Pluto moon too, or Pluto Venus, but like Scorpio energy, it's like slow to trust. It's maybe like
I have my Scorpio on my IC, so I can definitely tell you like my first needs at home would be privacy.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say they really value knowing that you're like can hold their secrets.
I don't like somebody going in and out of my space without my permission or without informing me. I like to know. Not in the Virgo sense of like having everything organized, but if let's say I'm doing something, I want to focus. It's really important to respect my privacy. I don't like somebody butting into my stuff and trying to, be nosy about it. I share when I want to share. So Yeah, I would say privacy is the number one thing. If somebody cannot respect my privacy, it's just like I'd rather leave.
Makes sense.
And I usually go, yeah, I do go into like a different space. Um, or if somebody's like trying to, control my phones or things like that without my permission, informing and having my permission is really important.
Hmm.
I mean, I think that's where the trust comes is like, can I trust that you can respect, my need to
Yeah,
do?
then you get let in, but it's like a
Yeah.
random process.
But if you're constantly going to like doubt, question things, like try to invade,
Mm.
um,
I mean, I think it's kind of similar to like they kind of need to feel in control
yeah, yeah,
too of their emotions.
definitely.
Because again, emotion, the moon is not the strongest here because emotions are kind of tied up in survival and fear. And so this can be a more like reticent moon sign to want to emotionally open up. But once they do, it's like a bond for life.
Yeah, it's very deep. At the same time, I can also tell you, like, even if like I'm emotionally to process things, especially going through like difficult periods, yes, first you like feel them, then it's not like, oh, I just feel it and listen to a good kind of music, I'm over it. No.
Oh, they'll brood.
Then
They'll brood.
yeah, so that's why I need to kind of close in my own like private space to kind of understand the situation, what happened, what is true, to get to like the bottom of things in order to kind of transform it. It's definitely not something lighthearted, and maybe because you need to let that wave and flow through you first before you express it and you share with someone. um so that's why it's so important to have like that privacy and space,
Mhm.
because sometimes you're not ready to speak right away. There are still things that you're trying to understand and come clear with yourself first. Because Scorpio, it's, yes, it's ruled by Mars, but it's not like Aries like gonna lash out like, oh, I'm angry, you did this, or like, I want that.
Oh, it'll feel it
Yeah,
and
you
like
feel it,
hold
but it's
that.
almost like this
It could be
boiling,
a grudge.
yeah,
It could be
boiling
really a grudge.
intensity. And yes, first it can represent
You
itself
won't know
like,
for years.
yeah,
You
but
won't know for years how they were really feeling.
I mean, you can even transform that. But for
Of
example,
course.
first is like grudge, then it's anger, then you want to change it, and then
Mhm.
until it kind of starts for you to understand like, how, in what way should I change it. So it's a process. It's not just like an impulse, you react on it and you spit it
Mhm.
out.
Yeah.
It's like, what do I want to transform it into? Want to what Where do I want this to go
If it
past?
doesn't transform, it turns into angst. I'll say that.
Or it can eat you alive. It's not
Yeah.
a And that's why the biggest lesson of
Poison. It's a
Scorpio.
poison, right? Like the
Yeah,
snake.
yeah. The greatest lesson of Scorpio is just like learning to like let it go. And sometimes it's true, there were
Yes.
things I couldn't understand and I had to just let it go, but it was not an easy process.
Mm.
Yeah. Because technically it's harming you, like any bad thought, any bad feeling. It's not hurting somebody else. It's like
Yeah, and
eating.
there's a mis like nomer that the more I hold on to this, the more I can control this, I'm safe. But actually it's like that's what's hurting you. And it's
Yeah.
like the easiest thing that feels the scariest is the best thing.
Yeah.
Just take the leap.
Okay, Molly, we got it all covered.
Yeah, we got it covered. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank
What are
you.
we talking about next week? I can tease it out. It's what men want. Oh,
Ooh.
I love that. What do men want?
We cannot leave the guys behind.
It's actually this episode will take 2 minutes. I'm just kidding. Simple. Men are simple. They're simpler than women.
They want peace in their life. Don't
They want
stress them
peace
out
and
or
respect.
give them so much emotions because they don't know how to deal with that.
I like this topic. Um, it's aligned with the moon in Libra. And
Perfect.
we'll talk about Mars and sun placements and aspects in a male's chart to show his masculine nature and the link between his ego and desires.
Cool.
Yeah, I like that. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. So yes,
Write your questions.
enjoy the rest of the week's talk shows. If you want to book a session with us or any of the other coaches, you can find us on astromegistus.com, and we'll catch you next Monday with a new fun and cool topic. Thank you, Molly. See you.
Ciao.
Ciao.